State of Iowa as she launches what amounts to her first campaign swing, while Rudy Giuliani making his case to the rank and file in New Hampshire, though cautioning he's still not sure whether he's going to run. Well, joining me, Doug Hattaway, former Al Gore campaign advisor and Democratic strategist, and Carrie Lukas, vice president of the Independent Women's Forum. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
All right, Doug, I'm going to start with you. Hillary in Iowa. On Iraq, as you know, she refused to recall her vote for the war, saying it was a mistake. I mean, she said, quote, acting on the best judgment I had at the time. Is that really going to fly with Democratic voters when so many other candidates like John Edwards, Barack Obama as well, saying this war was an error from the start?
Yeah, I think most voters, frankly, are really interested in what the candidates have to say moving forward. I do not believe that a lot of people are going to be parsing her words and seeing how she's talking about what went on back then, because frankly most of the country supported the invasion of Iraq, and now over time they want the soldiers out of there, and Senator Clinton's put forward a plan for that. So I think she's going to get points for being presidential in looking for ways to get us out of Iraq. I think this calling it a mistake is more a preoccupation of the media than it is concern of voters.
Okay. Carrie, by most accounts, I want to see first of all if you agree with that, but also Hillary's first stop in Iowa has been a success. Big crowds, big cheers we've been hearing. It would seem like she's off to a decent start, would you say?
Absolutely, and I do agree with Doug that I think that Hillary's support and real moderation on the war, I think, will ultimately end up being a strength. There's a lot of candidates out there on the left who are really fighting to take that more radical anti-war vote. But Hillary's looking, I think, in the long term for support among her Democratic base, but then also looking to a general election. I definitely think she's the front runner, and she's done so far so good for Hillary's campaign.
What about the Democratic base, though? You think they'll turn out and vote for her if she doesn't reject the war?
You know, I think that she does. She has a lot of appeal. I think a lot of Democrats really want to take the White House, and they're going to be looking for the candidate who's most able to do that. It's possible that the fringe left will really control the tenor of this election. That's really, we've got to wait and see. But I do think that Hillary has a lot of support among the base, the core base. So I think that she's making a very wise, calculated decision.
So, Doug, you're listening to Carrie here, supposed to be your counterpart. I mean, are you surprised that you were hearing Carrie come off like this and really say, look, Hillary's the one, she's the leader of the pack right now? Or do you think Carrie's playing smart politics with you and saying, no, she's the one we really want to get. This is the one we want to go up against.
I think it's sound political analysis. The Republicans have long said that Hillary Clinton is one of our strong candidates, and she certainly is. There's a good field of candidates on the Democratic side. I'm sure plenty of them wish they could get more airtime. But she has I think it comes down to the fact that she has been a very good senator for New York. She won over Republican voters in upstate New York, and if you know the state, you know that's not easy for a Democrat to do. She's done it through hard work. She's built an image as a strong leader who knows a lot about national security issues, in addition to her long portfolio of interests and work on domestic issues. And now I think her challenge is simply to connect with people, to get out there and do what she's doing. I think it's been a brilliant start to this campaign, from the launch on the web where she was just talking directly to people and taking their questions. And this, too, I think is a very strong start, and the Republicans recognize that.
And speaking of strong starts, very quickly, Carrie, Rudy Giuliani in New Hampshire. How's he looking?
I think he's a really appealing candidate for the Republicans. He has the cachet of the 9/11 kind of heroism that everyone associates with him, but he has a tremendous record in New York. So I think he's got a really strong case to make. He's been really. I think he sincerely doesn't know if he's going to run. Unlike Hillary for so long was saying she wasn't sure about it, but I think no one was surprised to hear when she finally announced.
Can I ask you though, Carrie? He's not way to the right on the social issues, as you well know, and as you were saying that the Democrats want to put someone in the White House. You think the Republicans would want to just get someone into the White House that reflects, their red and elephant party lines there?
I think that the mayor has a better case to make than a lot of the media gives him credit for, and I think that he is talking to social conservatives and making the case that when he comes to selecting judges, he is committed to following in the footsteps of President Bush and selecting top quality justices like Samuel Alito and Justice Roberts. So I think that he has a lot to talk about, and his record in New York is frankly quite positive in terms of, from a social conservative's perspective, in terms of cleaning up the city, getting rid of some of the most unsavory parts of New York and really making it more family friendly. So I think he has a better case to make than a lot of the media gives him credit for.
Okay, Carrie and Doug, we're going to have you back to talk a little later in the hour about the president and the showdown on Capitol Hill. So don't go too far. Thanks.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Paris Hilton's battle to keep private belongings away from public eyes. Plus, need some bucks? Hear how you can turn to someone you've never met instead of a bank. But is it worth the risk?